Okay, so end of week 6. I'm back out on the Crusader without any kind of assistance. It's just pure me power now. I've managed to get my back feeling a bit better, so I'm back out onto pure power now. So what I've done recently is I've been concentrating on technique and as well as obviously just building power and speed and fitness. But the technique is something that I thought I was getting, and then I got some footage a couple of days ago, and I was amazed at how bad it was. And what you think you're doing and what you are doing are usually not the same. So it is absolutely worth, at regular intervals, you know, every couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that, just get someone to film some of your runs from the shore, because you will see so many things that you're doing wrong. So the biggest thing was that I have been out here and I have been practicing my plant paddle, you know, release, reaching forward, and you know, trying to get that technique to reach forward, get that massive amounts of, you know, as much power stroke as you can. And I thought I was doing it quite well. You know, I've been getting faster at it, I've been doing more of it, you know, been concentrating on it, and I'm really trying to work it hard. And I feel now that I'm starting to get a good technique and it's working. And then I got some footage and it was awful. So you can see here I sort of start off and, you know, just as normal, just gently paddling along, and then as I start picking up speed, what happens is although I do reach forward, I actually don't enter the water until I'm at my front foot, and then I exit just behind my back foot. So I'm only really getting half a paddle stroke. So what's also happening is, because I'm doing that, I hit the water with lots of speed with the paddle, which causes a lot of splash, which is wasted energy, causes a lot of turbulence, which means the paddle is not in the water, it's gripping air and water. Plus also I get that jar where it hits, and that throws me off balance. So lots and lots of things are happening in, you know, a split second. And yet I thought that I was doing really well with this emphasized, exaggerated stroke. So this is where now I have got to concentrate on trying to get this paddle in 90 degrees, do the stroke, pull the paddle out and reset, and don't let it go. So what I'm now going to be doing is, in my 20-minute warm-up, is going to be this emphasized paddle stroke. And when you do it slowly, you feel that there's a lot of power there, there's a lot of you know, you get a lot of straight line speed out of it. You're transferring the water, you're transferring your power into speed. But as soon as you start onto your high cadence strokes, it all goes wrong. Now, will a different length of paddle make a difference? I'm not sure. I'm experimenting. It's 3 inches taller than I am at the moment, seems to work. If I go shorter, I can't actually seem to get it in the water. If I go longer, it just seems to hurt my arms quicker. So I don't know, I'm just finding something that works at the moment. But it's not all doom and gloom. Even with my crappy technique, I'm now starting to find that the board is starting to feel like it's coming on top of the water. If it gets on top of the water, there's going to be a hell of a lot less drag, which means that the next couple of power strokes should get me a bit more speed, a little bit more over the foil. Unfortunately, to get me to the surface is all that my lungs can handle. So I'm getting there, but then I can't do any more. So this is now a case of this, you know, this 10% improvement that I need is just going to take 90% of my work to do it. But looking back, you know, this is week 6 now. I'm now comfortably paddling in a straight line. I'm getting the J stroke, reverse J stroke. I'm getting, you know, nice average speeds with not trying to pump, and that's working quite well. I feel a lot more balanced, I'm a lot more comfortable. A couple other things that I think I was doing wrong: I did move my foil fully forward, which did make the board feel a little bit more lifty, but what it did do is it made the nose drop. And what was happening was if you look down there now, you'll see that the nose was basically going underwater, and I can't, if I move the foot forward, the nose was going underwater. So that's a huge amount of drag. You're just pushing it through the water, and that's not doing anything. So by moving my foil back to the mid of the track and then moving my foot back slightly, I seem to now keep the nose clear, and I'm finding that the board just seems to be a little bit more stable for me. Still having problems with ending up on my toes mid cadence, and that obviously can break up the run, but it's getting better, and you know, I can now feel myself starting to get a little bit of lift from the foil, and if I can get this board onto the surface and I can get it to accelerate, you know, another half a knot, I may well get the lift that the foil needs to start supporting me and go from there. But it's a fitness thing. So technique and fitness, massive technique, massive fitness. The technique I can work on. I think that's going to probably come quicker than the fitness. The fitness is building, but you know, the shortcut would be to just dump 15 kilos of weight off me, which is not going to happen. I've been trying that for years. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be fitness, and it's going to be technique. So my drills are now coming out, warming up, and then it's this practicing this overemphasized paddle stroke. Enter, release, enter, paddle, release, enter, paddle, release, enter, paddle, release. And then once I've done that, it's then doing the same but trying to put a bit of forward bounce. And I find that as soon as I start trying to put the pump in, that's when my paddle stroke starts to reduce. So I've got to again practice doing that. Now I'm hardly putting any effort in, but I can feel that the board is behaving a lot better. Board is, it's not diving, it's corking. I'm getting a little bit of forward speed, and I'm also able to translate a lot more of my power into the water. So I've just got to keep doing that overemphasized paddle stroke. And like I said, by looking at a piece of film from the bank, you get to see so many of your problems. But what you can also do is you can see that there's been improvement. As you can see by you know, this video side by side, basically we're looking at 3 weeks ago, and the difference is incredible. You know, I was powering through the water and I wasn't actually doing anything. I was just powering through the water, and you know, 5 or 6 strokes and I'm gone. Whereas now I'm actually able to keep going, and I can feel the board is now starting to get onto the water. So this is where I am. It feels like you don't ever get anywhere, but you do. It's like jumping on the scales every week. You know, if you jump on every single day, you're never ever going to see anything. But if you jump on once a week, you generally see a change. If you're trying to sort of go down in weight, you'll see, because it's a week that's gone by. Obviously 3 weeks, sometimes you just want to know more, but it is worth it. It's worth trying to get someone to look at you from the shore and see if they can get you some decent shots of you doing what you need to do. And then for me, it is every day, just coming out every day if I can. And even if I'm not feeling up to it to do, you know, really powerful strokes and try and get up onto the foil, just coming out and doing this reverse J stroke and the J stroke, getting completely used to basically trying to go straight. Because if you keep doing it, it becomes natural. You find that you tend to do it when you're under stress. So when you start to really power, and you can't concentrate on technique, you don't have to, because you've already learnt it. So that's where I am with this. So what I tend to do now is, as I say, I do my 20 minutes, try and get myself warmed up, and then I'll give myself 10-15 minutes of just try a run, relax, try a run, give myself a minute, get my breath back, try a run, give myself a break, another run, minute. So I do 2 runs every 2 minutes with a minute break, and yeah, just see if I can feel it. And I know when I've got there, because and it's no longer working, because I just can't put the power through my shoulders and the elbows anymore. So this is basically one of the runs. So make sure I'm nicely comfortable, foot position is as it should be, and then start to build my speed, emphasizing this paddle stroke, pick up a bit of speed, then start to do the bounce. And now, see, I've already gone onto my toes, and I may as well just stop there. I may as well just stop and recover, because if I try to carry on at the moment, I'll just fall in. So as soon as I get onto my toes and I start losing my balance, I may as well just finish it and start again. So this is where I'm doing this over emphasized reach to get the full paddle stroke. Obviously once I start the bounce, then that's also putting me off balance, and I think this is why I tend to do these shorter strokes, because it's keeping my balance, but obviously it's not giving me what I want. So I'll try again, build the speed, now start the bounce. I'm on my toes. So again, I think one of the problems I've got is with my balance is because I'm now trying to reach forward. So that's when I think sometimes a slightly shorter paddle does tend to help, because I'm not having to lift it so much, but then I don't seem to get as much power. But try everything. And then I caught the paddle. So the board's on the surface there. Board's on the surface. Could actually feel then that the board was accelerating better than once it came up. But unfortunately, nothing left in my arms. But I'm able to get to that stage almost every time now. So I think it's going to be another half a knot speed, and then the foil will grab and it will start to do its job. So it's the concentrating on that paddle stroke, it's the emphasis on really trying to unload your feet, trying to unlighten your body, get your weight up and forward, recover, and then get your next paddle stroke in. There's so much going on there, but you have to try and look for everything that's good as well, because you know, I'm out here now on a board that 6 weeks ago I couldn't even get on it. As you saw back there, I recovered, you know, I lost my balance and I recovered. I wouldn't have done that before. I'm able to, you know, my sessions normally do about 2.5 miles. You know, out here for 2.5 miles and an hour, just doing what I'm doing. I couldn't have done that 6 weeks ago. And you know, you stand at the bottom of the mountain and the summit looks so far away, and at some point you've just got to take that first step, and it seems impossible because you're just going uphill the whole time. But at some point you need to stop and you look back and you look at where you came from and you look at the view from where you are. It's totally different, and totally, you know, it makes you feel better, because you've at least now, you're not at the beginning. The summit's still, you know, X amount away, but you're closer. And sometimes the summit is the steepest bit to get to, but you're never going to get to that steep bit unless you do, you know, all those steps beforehand to get there. So this sport is hard. It's very hard. You know, I've windsurfed, I've kite surfed, I've snowboarded, I've wakeboarded, I've kite surfed, and sorry, I've wing foiled. You know, I've foiled behind a boat, and I've wind foiled. You know, I've done so many of these board sports, and I'd say this for initials is incredibly hard. The technique needs to be bang on, your power, your fitness, everything. You know, you can get away with other things with a more powerful boat, with a bigger sail, with a bigger wing, with a bigger foil. You know, this is it. This is the board I've got. Okay, yeah, a longer, thinner one would probably be better, but this is what I've got. I can't get another one. The foil is what I've got. It's probably the best I'm going to get for what I can do. You know, I've upgraded my paddle now. This has been fantastic. It's made a massive difference. But now I've just got to accept that the rest of it, it's the soft squidgy bit that needs to get fitter and needs to learn. It's the brain. It's the brain and the muscles. So just keep coming out. So let's try another couple of runs. Build that little bit of speed. Feel the foot pressure. Make sure the nose is out. Right, let's go. Let's start building the speed. Start with the pump Yeah, Boardy's foil then, the foil then was lifting the nose. I could feel that. The foil was lifting the nose. So I'm now at another stage where I'm not sure what's going on. So I've got to figure out how that gets to. Unfortunately, how to get to that half a second of where it's new, you've got to do all the rest of the work to get there. But I can feel now that that foil is starting to produce a little bit of help. Unfortunately, by the time I get to that point, I'm good for nothing. So let's get ourselves back up wind, because you probably can't hear anything because of the wind. But even this, you know, trawling myself back upwind, I'm nice and straight. It seems quite natural to me now, just paddling and staying straight, whereas before I was just going around in circles or veering off and doing what I need to do. The other thing as well, I'm not complaining, it's 31 degrees here today. It's 31 degrees and it's probably about 80% humidity, so it's absolutely knocking the energy levels. You know, I've drunk a litre of water, you know, half an hour before I came out, and I reckon I've probably already got rid of that because it is pouring off me, and I haven't actually fallen in yet. So this is all just sweat. So, you know, I'm able to do this in this beautiful area of the world, but it's also it's like going into a gym that's way too hot. You just find you get knackered very, very quickly. Now, I tend to get around about 3.2 to 3.5 knots now on my Apple Watch. Now, I'm not sure if it's that accurate, but it always seems to be about those figures. So it might not be that actual speed, but it's something that it seems to be. I always get it. It's a good average. So when I get it right and I get this board feeling like it's on the surface, I'm about 4 knots. So that 4 knots is half a knot short to what I think I need for this foil to get up. So let's try again. So we're 2.1 at the moment. So full speed without any pump is about 2.7, 2.9. Yeah, 2.9. So that's about the theoretical maximum I can get without any other technique. That's pure power. If I start to do that and then start the board bounce, .3, 3.2. So there I wasn't going completely nuts. That was just trying to keep the paddle straight, a good entry, a good paddle, trying to get the bounce, keep my balance, and do what I need to do. Right, and now I'm going to just try a full on. I'm just going to go until I can't go anymore, which I reckon is going to be probably 6 or 7 paddles and board bounces before the world starts going black from the outside of my eyes. So let's try. Here we go. I'm not going to talk on this one. .3. 3.9. Oh, a couple more paddle strokes in there, but I felt more stable. I didn't lean forward too much, didn't lose it on my toes. So there, 3.9, nearly the 4 that I have got in the past. And the board starts to feel just a little bit more stable. So it's getting closer. Got to try and find good points as well as the many bad points which you can work on. Good points reinforce good technique, bad points, you can work on them. So I've been out here now for about 40 minutes, and there's not a lot left in here now. Right, we're good for one more, because absolutely I've got nothing left. Here we go. That's me. That's me. End of week 6. Impossible dream. Flat water paddle up on a downwind board by a 54-year-old, 105 kilo, unfit, lacking balance idiot. See you next time.